What's up, sports bettors? The World Cup is heating up, and I have an early bet that you're going to want to be on for Croatia versus Argentina. So, again, it's free to browse odds on OddsJam and kind of the core of sports betting. Doesn't matter if you're betting on soccer, the World Cup, player props, and the NBA, is you need to find value. Just like an investor, a day trader is looking for value in the market, looking where they have an edge. It's the same exact thing in sports betting. You want to follow the value. So I have an early bet on Argentina versus Croatia in the total goals market. And the reason I have a bet on this market isn't because I went into today wanting to place a bet on Argentina Croatia total goals. It's because I wanted to find the highest profit margin plays. And OddsJam has real time soccer odds from hundreds of different sports books in all these different markets. Sports books want to set lines independently, so they all could be screwing up in certain areas, right? Which is exactly what we're looking for as a sharp bettor. So what I ended up going with is right here: Croatia, Argentina, first half total goals under half of a total goal, plus 148 on FanDuel. I bet this for $135. Now you may be like, why $135? Well, you can see right here they'll only give me 10 cents more. Because I'm very profitable on FanDuel, they only give me like $130 on my soccer plays. So you can see all they're going to give me is a max wager of $135. Now, why do we like this play? So I say this a lot, but it's free to browse odds on OddsJam, and you can manually hunt through the market and look for value, right? You can look for line discrepancies. OddsJam will always highlight the best odds for you. So, for example, for Argentina Croatia, the best odds on a draw is plus 250, as you can see under this best odds column. And you can get that on Caesars or you can get that on DraftKings. You may have different sports books in your location, I don't know. But if I go to the positive EV tool, what you're going to see is OddsJam will essentially take all these lines, right? I mean, there's so many different markets you can bet on all these sports books. You got total corners, you have totals, you have penalties, you have goal scores, you have player props. So all the EV tool does is it really just takes all that data, and it's pretty beautiful because it's very simple, and it just points out the highest profit margin plays for the sports books you're using. So you can see I have my sports books, the 4 books I'm using selected right here, right? And this brings up another point. This is why you need multiple sportsbook accounts. You can see the top profit margin bet. So typically, OddsJam will automatically sort to just show you the highest profit margin bet. So typically, I'm obviously sorting to see the highest profit margin plays for the filters I've set up. But you can see one plays on FanDuel, one play is on Caesars, then you got to play on WinBet. So again, because all these sports books have different odds, you never know who's going to be screwing up on a given day and where you're going to be able to find value, where you're going to be able to find an edge, right? Today, it's FanDuel. Today, that they're slipping up. So this video is about FanDuel. And you can see the reason we love this play is we're getting the first half total under half of a goal at plus 148 on FanDuel. And no other sportsbook is giving odds above plus 132, right? Caesars is all the way down at plus 115. This is actually an arbitrage bet. You could bet 145 on the first half over half of a goal to win back 100, and you could bet $100 on the under to win 148 in profit. You could guarantee yourself a risk-free profit based on this discrepancy in odds. That's called arbitrage betting, and OddsJam has a tool for it, right? The whole point of OddsJam is to make this data actionable. You're never going to be able to search through the millions of odds across sportsbooks manually. There's just so much data. The market's always moving. So what OddsJam does is it just takes this data and tries to create a bunch of tools to show you where the value is. And this EV tool literally just points out the biggest line discrepancies. So here you can see, plus 148 on FanDuel looks great to Caesars. What about Unibet? So if we go to a no vig odds calculator, all this calculator does is it takes the sportsbook's market with juice and it squeezes out the juice. It removes the juice. So for example, on Unibet, they have this plus 133, minus 167. The fair line would be plus 145 with the vig removed, plus 145.73 on the under, according to Unibet's market. So once again, we're getting plus 148 on FanDuel, so we're beating this no vig odds. No vig odds just means fair odds. If you think about a car dealer, he may buy your car for 10,000 and then sell it for 14,000. And it's like, well, if he bought it from you for 10,000 and then he resold it for 14,000, he probably thought it was worth somewhere in the middle, like $12,000, right? The car dealer makes money by charging a spread. It's no different in sports betting. That spread is called the VIG. So to figure out what the sportsbook thinks the true price is, the true odds are without VIG, you just want to remove that, right? Which is exactly what we're doing. So to Unibet, the fair line, according to Unibet's model, without VIG is plus 146. We're getting plus 148 on FanDuel, so we're getting even better odds. Now, what about on Caesars? Plus 115, minus 145. The fair line is plus 127. So obviously this play looks incredible to Caesars market. So basically, we treat all these sportsbooks as independent data points of where the line should be set. DraftKings has this minus 160, plus 125, fair line plus 148. 38, we're getting plus 148. Unibet has this plus 130, minus 160. Fair odds plus 141. We're getting plus 148. Once again, looks pretty incredible. And then this sportsbook, which is the same as the OddsJam column, it's just real-time odds from Pinnacle. They have this minus 152, plus 132. And you can notice they're the lowest VIG sportsbook. They're the most efficient betting market, the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Frickin' FanDuel, they have, 42 cents of juice baked into their market right here. Pinnacle only has 20 cents. They have half the amount of juice of most of these sports books, right? Just being the sharpest, most efficient betting market. So Pinnacle's market, plus 132, minus 152, fair odds, plus 139. We're getting plus 148 on FanDuel. So we're beating the fair odds. We're getting higher odds, better odds than the no VIG odds or the fair odds. So this play looks absolutely ridiculous. We want to be all over it. So I hit it, right, for $135. And again, your goal as a sharp bettor is to place as many positive EV bets as you can on a daily basis. It's like if you have a coin that is weighted in your favor and you're flipping that coin with a friend for $100, you want to flip that coin as much as you can, right? When you have an edge, there will be some short-term losing streaks. Just because a coin is 53% to land on heads doesn't mean, it's still 47% to land on tails. It's going to fall on tails a few times in a row. So just because you have an edge doesn't mean you're going to win every bet. But you can see, kind of across sports books, I try to place a ton of positive EV bets. We have some first half total goal soccer. We have some football. We have NHL, right? I want as many positive EV bets across different sportsbook accounts as I can have. So this bet, 135 is the stake. 2.81% is the profit margin. It's also called edge in sports betting. Percent, profit margin, edge, whatever you want to call it. 2.81%. So 2.81% profit margin, $135 stake means our bet has $379 in EV or in profit margin. Based on the fact that we're getting this much improvement, that we're betting at plus 148 when the true consensus of the market without VIG is plus 141, means our bet has 2.81% profit margin, right? And we can go through the math if we wanted to. We can do it quickly. So plus 141.22 if we go to an odds converter calculator. So if the fair line on the under is, where is that odds converter calculator? So this is how the math works, right? 144.22, that's the fair odds. That implies that the win probability of our bet, right? Every odd has an associated win probability, is 41.46%. So when you're betting at plus 148 odds with a 100, when you're betting at plus 148 odds and you're winning that bet 41.46% of the time, your expected value is 2.82, right? For an $100 stake, so roughly 2.81%. Slight differences here due to rounding. So 2.81% profit margin, 135 stake. Our bet is worth $371 in dollars. 379, I apologize. And all this means is essentially if you came to me and you were like, hey, I'll give you $1 for your bet because your bet was really good, but FanDuel moved the line. Now I can't get my bet down. I tell you no, because I know my bet's worth more than $1. It's worth $3.79. So I've been tracking profit and loss, no promos, no fantasy, just plays I've given out in these YouTube videos. We're up 40K since the start of football season. Been giving out more fantasy plays lately, so nothing really tracked, but you can see, we went on a pretty brutal losing streak. I think we went up to a max of $54,000, 54.7K, and then we bled back to 37.40. So again, the winning and losing streaks are pretty whippy. You can see kind of on, on Twitter, I'll give out some plays. And I also use a bunch of these like verifiable bet trackers like Pickett. And you can see, the winning streaks and losing streaks are pretty brutal. But over the course of, a large sample size of bets, you'll see I'm up and to the right across sports, all on these verifiable bet trackers. So hopefully this video was helpful. Let's make money.